Today was Ethan and my engagement party. Both our families hosted a grand event. Our union wasn't an arranged marriage for business, but a love match. I had been with Ethan since I graduated from college. We'd been together for 4 years, and were finally about to get married. But to my shock, at the engagement ceremony, the video that was supposed to show Ethan and my journey as a couple turned into a video of Ethan drunk in another woman's arms. Ethan, please don't marry Grace. You said you loved me the most. I only love you, Scarlet, only you. I promise to marry you. The man was shirtless, holding the woman in his arms and whispering sweet nothings. The man was Ethan, my fiancé for today, my boyfriend of 4 years. The sobbing woman in the video was Ethan's first love, Scarlet. A murmur went through the guests. Ethan's usually composed expression shattered, and he frantically tried to explain himself to me. I calmly picked up the microphone. My apologies, everyone. The man in the video is my fiancé's brother, Ethan. Please excuse the misunderstanding. Afterward, I walked with a graceful smile towards the man sitting at the corner of a round table on the right. Fiancé? Aren't you going to toast with me? Ethan and I were childhood sweethearts. Our families had been close since we were young, and everyone used to tease that I would be the Ethan family's daughter-in-law someday. After hearing it so many times, during my adolescence, I experienced the first stirrings of love, naive and innocent, and I secretly began to pay attention to Ethan, quietly falling for him. Ethan knew I liked him, but he always pretended not to. After school graduation, I chose to study abroad, while Ethan stayed here. I heard he started dating, and I was heartbroken, but there was nothing I could do. For years later, when I returned home, Ethan had already broken up with his girlfriend. At a party, he used his drunkenness to ask if I still liked him, if I wanted to be with He. My mind exploded with joy, and I was vaguely pulled into his arms for a kiss. From then on, Ethan and I became an official couple. Our relationship was envied by all. My friends all said that our childhood romance overcame all obstacles and finally bloomed. Ethan treated me very well, always meticulously taking care of everything for me. Even when I heard how loving Ethan had been with his first love, I was secretly jealous, but I never worried. Ethan's ex-girlfriend was Scarlet, who was now a big star debuted abroad. She was a thing of the past. Knowing as I did, I was convinced that the moment she left him to pursue her career, any possibility between them ended, and only Ethan and I had a future. I, who was originally afraid of commitment, no longer felt that fear. I decided to spend the rest of my life with him, so when he proposed, I didn't hesitate to say yes. The alliance between the Ethan and Grace families was undoubtedly a powerful alliance. What's more, since ours was a love match, both families were overjoyed. After our parents met, they started planning the engagement party. I didn't want to handle everything myself, so I designed the process and took care of every detail. I wanted us to have a perfect and beautiful wedding experience. As the engagement party approached, Ethan became exceptionally busy. When I asked him about it, he took my hand, kissed it, and asked, "We'll get married after the engagement, and I want to honeymoon with you, so shouldn't I take care of office matters beforehand?" Worried he was working too late, I cooked some homemade soup and took it to his office. The people at the office were already familiar with me, so I passed through without a hitch until I reached the door of his office, where Ethan's secretary stopped me. "Ms. Grace, Mr. Ethan is in a meeting. Would you mind waiting in the waiting room next door?" I didn't miss the flicker of fear in his eyes. I smiled and let him lead the way. After sitting for a while, I casually asked, "What time do you usually finish work these days?" "Ms. Grace, he's been leaving quite early lately. Mr. Ethan said he needs to prepare for the engagement." My heart sank. Ethan had lied. Why lie? My gut told me the answer was in the office. I took a sip of iced tea and mentioned, "I'm just going to the restroom." The secretary nodded, watching me leave the waiting room. Without a moment's hesitation, I walked straight to Ethan's office, gripped the doorknob, and pushed the door open. Instantly, blood rushed to my head, and a chill spread through me. Ethan was standing by the window, leaning over. The woman in front of him wore a white dress, her fingers on his collar, adjusting his tie. They were standing extremely close, looking like a perfect couple, and a strong, undeniable chemistry filled the air. My intrusion broke the intimate moment. Both looked over, Ethan's pupils constricted, and he took a step back, adjusting his tie himself. "Grace, what are you doing here?" I let out a bitter laugh. "What? Did you hire a new secretary?" I knew exactly who this woman was, Ethan's ex-girlfriend, the celebrity Scarlet. I'd seen her photos on many platforms. Ethan's face darkened, and he said coldly, "Don't talk nonsense. This is Scarlet. She just returned home and merely came to say hello. Scarlet smiled, appraising me. Are you Ethan's new girlfriend? You're very pretty. Ethan, after all these years, you still like this type, huh? Her gaze lingered on my white dress, but her words were directed at Ethan. Even if I conceded everything, she and Ethan were already history, so how could I be a new girlfriend? We simply wore similar white dresses, yet her words implied Ethan couldn't forget her. I glared at Ethan. His expression stiffened for a moment. I said nothing and turned to leave. Grace. Ethan chased after me and grabbed my hand. Grace, please let me explain. Nothing is going on between Scarlet and me. I turned to face him, looking at the and I had known for over 20 years. Ethan, I'm asking you one more time, what have you been so busy with lately? Why have you been leaving early and coming home late? Ethan's expression grew impatient. Grace, haven't I already told you? I'm working. The office has too many tasks lately, and the entire department is working overtime. I laughed. Okay, I get it. Ethan took my hand. Grace, I know. Our engagement is coming up, and are you feeling anxious? It's my fault, but there's nothing going on with Scarlet and me. Besides, I've already proposed to you. We are the ones meant to spend our lives together. I nodded. All right, you two can continue reminiscing. I have things to do. I pulled my hand away and turned to leave. After leaving, I immediately contacted a friend who knew Scarlet and found out Scarlet had returned 5 days ago. That was precisely when Ethan started becoming busy. After checking the flights from that day, I sat in my car, drained. That evening, Ethan and I had dinner together, and we had planned to watch a movie afterward and be home by midnight. But halfway through the movie, Ethan abruptly left. It was 10 o'clock. Scarlett's flight arrived at 11 p.m. A voice deep down told me that Ethan and Scarlet were far from innocent, but I needed concrete proof. Suddenly, I thought of the security camera at Ethan's house. I had bought the security camera for him, and it was connected to my phone. With trembling hands, I opened the security camera footage from 5 days ago, tears blurring my vision. Ethan didn't return until midnight. His car stopped at the door, but Scarlet was the first to get out. He carried Scarlet's suitcase and led her inside. All night, they were in the same room. For 5 whole days, Scarlet had been staying at Ethan's place. Wiping away my tears, I quickly drove to Ethan's house. My fingerprint had long been registered to Ethan's house, but pressing it now, I hesitated. Come, register your fingerprint. From now on, only the two of us can open this house. Ethan squeezed my index finger onto the scanner, whispering intimately into my ear. After registering my fingerprint, he turned my face and kissed my lips tenderly. So now what? Did also have her fingerprint registered? Nausea surged through me. I opened the door and ran straight to the restroom, washing my hands over and over again. After washing my hands and coming out, the balcony immediately caught my eye. A girl's white lace panties hung on the drying rack, next to a pair of black men's underwear. My nails dug into my palms, but I barely felt it, only an overwhelming surge of humiliated fury. I walked towards the guest room, step by step, gripped the doorknob, and took a deep breath. Ethan, don't disappoint me again. I opened the door, and the room was spotlessly clean, looking brand new, as if no one had ever lived there. I don't know how I managed to open Ethan's bedroom door. Seeing the 2 unmade pillows and 2 duvets on the bed, my body finally gave out, my legs went weak, and I collapsed onto the floor. For those 5 days, Ethan and Scarlet had shared a room, sleeping in the same bed. And I had been eagerly anticipating Ethan and my sweet married life. This realization struck me as laughable, and tears splattered onto the floor. Sounds came from outside the door. I stood up and waited quietly. Ethan, I think I should move out. Grace will be angry if she knows I slept in your bed. She won't be. Grace is very gentle. Once I explain, she won't be mad at me. Besides, you're not suitable to be seen out in public right now. Ethan, I'll leave as soon as I find a suitable place. I won't affect your wedding with Grace. If doesn't marry you because of me, then I really will be a sinner. Ethan chuckled. Who else would Grace have besides me? She can't bear to lose me. Grace? Ethan stopped mid-sentence, staring at me in shock. I pointed at the messy bed. Let's break up, Ethan. Every day, I poured my heart into preparing for the engagement party, rushing everywhere to find the best ballroom, tasting dishes to plan the dinner menu, staying up late to design the entire ballroom's layout, and visiting countless stores to find decorating materials. I handled everything myself just to achieve the most perfect engagement party, while Ethan was here reminiscing about the past with his first love. I don't agree, Ethan said, his face darkening as he quickly walked over. Who allowed you in? I was devastated, and couldn't help but remember him leaning into my neck and saying, Grace, why don't you often stay here from now on? I want to always be with you. I looked into his eyes and asked, can't I come in? Ethan seemed to remember that, too, and his expression faltered. That's not what I meant. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? There's no need anymore. Let's break up, Ethan. Don't be ridiculous. There's nothing between Scarlet and me. It's just that she just returned home, and her schedule isn't public yet. Some obsessed fans were following her, so it wasn't safe for her to stay elsewhere, which is why she's staying here with me. Then how do you explain sleeping in the same bed? I couldn't help but raise my voice, demanding fiercely. It was thundering, and she had a nightmare last night. I only stayed with her for a bit. Ethan also got angry, stating with a stern face, Grace, the news of our family's engagement has already been released. The wedding must proceed. I promise you nothing will happen with her. Will you trust me? Just wait patiently for our engagement, okay? I stared intently at Ethan for a long time, then suddenly let out a laugh. All right, I'll wait for you to marry me. Ethan seemed to sigh in relief. I saw the look of disgust on Scarlet's face behind him, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. I thought our love was rock solid, but reality gave me a harsh reality check, proving my complacency. When I was little, I always followed Ethan around, playing with his superhero action figures and learning to swim, which he loved. We grew up together, never missing any of the most important moments in each other's lives. At his 18th birthday party, we cut the cake together. At my 18th birthday party, he placed a tiara on my head. I would secretly record videos of him playing basketball and watch them repeatedly, carefully keeping every birthday gift he gave me. I'd cry with worry when he got into fights and hurt his hands, and I'd stay up late organizing notes to give him when his grades slipped. Ethan knew I liked him, he always knew. No one could fail to see I liked Ethan. But he still pretended not to know, treated me like his buddy, slung his arm around my shoulder, laughed that I was too thin, took my hand to admire my new bracelet, and pinched my cheek, calling me cute. Later, I went abroad, and Ethan met his first love, Scarlet. I saw Ethan's social media posts with photos of them together, captioned, Miss Scarlet came to watch me play basketball today. Today is Miss Scarlet's birthday, my forever 18-year-old princess. Miss Scarlet came to class with me today. She secretly took photos of me when I fell asleep and then denied it. There was so much. I would always secretly check his social media posts, and my heart felt like it was being squeezed and crushed. Everything about them felt irrelevant to me. I heard they broke up, heard Scarlet left, heard Ethan spent day and night in the bar, utterly despondent. A subtle sense of satisfaction even rose within me. But when we met again, my heart still beat for him. My youthful crush was too deeply ingrained in my memory, and I couldn't let go of it. That night, we went for a karaoke night, and we both had some drinks. He sat beside me, the lighting dim, and no one noticed us in our corner. Ethan kept staring at my face until I couldn't handle it anymore and picked up my glass to take a few sips to ease my nerves. But he tightly clasped the handhold. My drink, leaned closer, and whispered, Grace, do you still like me? I was trapped in the corner of the sofa by him, blushing, unsure how to respond. This was different from our usual interactions, an intimate atmosphere permeated the air. Ethan gently kissed the corner of my mouth. Let's be together. I smugly believed I was the winner, smugly believed I was the one who had walked the furthest path with Ethan. We were the ones who understood each other best. No, I was the one who understood Ethan best. Ethan didn't understand me at all. Ethan, who do you love most? The girl's voice in the video was choked and hoarse, yet it couldn't hide its seductive charm, melting everyone who heard it. Scarlet, Ethan loves Scarlet forever. Ethan in the video, like a child, buried his head in the arms of the woman recording, rubbing against her. Tonight was Ethan and my engagement party. Originally, I was supposed to play our engagement video, and Ethan would appear with the ring after the video finished. But now, the guests thought the girl whose face wasn't shown in the video was me, and they were laughing teasingly. Yet I felt like I had been thrown into an ice bath, chilling me to the bone. Because I knew the girl in the video playing at that moment wasn't me. Ethan, hearing the sound, frantically rushed in from outside the lobby door, yelling, Who told you to play that? But the path was too long. Before he could reach the stage, the voices from the video came through. Ethan, please don't marry Grace. You said you loved me the most. I only love you, Scarlet, only you. I promised to marry you. Then came a smacking sound, anyone could tell what it was. A murmur went through the guests. I stood on the stage, looking down at Ethan. The usually composed Ethan was now completely flustered, and I couldn't help but give a brilliant, unsettling smile. Everyone looked at me. I picked up the microphone in my hand. My apologies, everyone. The man in the video is my fiancé's brother, Ethan. Please excuse the misunderstanding. Afterward, ignoring everyone's expressions, I lifted the hem of my dress and walked towards the man sitting at the corner of a round table on the right. Marcus, aren't you coming over? Only then did everyone's gaze fall upon Marcus. Marcus was dressed in a black suit, black dress shoes, and his legs were crossed. He watched me approach him with interest. I tremblingly extended my hand, and he steadied me with his. This farce concluded with my engagement to Marcus, Ethan's older brother, saving both families' reputations. The moment the video played, the Ethan family panicked. They were a family of esteemed scholars. It was only recently that Mr. William had started a business. The reputation they had built over so many years could not be ruined by this one son. It wasn't until Marcus took my hand, felt the sweat in my palm, and gently squeezed it to reassure me that I slowly began to calm down. The engagement agreement presented was incorrect. The name Ethan was replaced with Marcus. I watched him intently as he pressed his handprint, then he took my thumb and pressed my handprint. With the engagement agreement finalized, the engagement ceremony was complete. Marcus slowly slid the ring onto my ring finger. I knew well that I had dragged him into this, making him a pawn. Ethan had already been taken away by Mr. Williams' people. I no longer cared what awaited him. I linked arms with Marcus and toasted the guests one by one. Everyone mingling in this circle were savvy individuals who knew how to navigate social situations. No one brought up the farce from 15 minutes ago. There were only congratulations for Marcus and my engagement, wishing both our families a happy union and praising us as a perfect match. Halfway through the party, I leaned against Marcus, resting my head on his shoulder. Marcus smiled and apologized to the other guests. I'll take her to the room first. Please excuse us. No. Any would stop the hosts, especially when one was drunk. Marcus scooped me up bridal style. I was startled, tightened my grip around his neck, feigned shyness, and buried my face in his chest, catching a faint scent of jasmine. Once out of the ballroom, I whispered, "All right, you can put me down now." Marcus remained silent, carrying me into the elevator. He didn't let go, and I didn't dare to struggle, pretending he hadn't heard me, and not daring to say it again. Having second thoughts? Marcus scoffed. The alcohol was hitting me, and my face felt hot. No, I said. He smirked, carried me into the room, placed me on the bed, closed the door, and sat on the sofa opposite the bed. Marcus tugged at his tie, undoing 2 buttons. The atmosphere was terribly oppressive, neither of us spoke. I closed my eyes, collapsed, drained of energy, onto the bed, covered my eyes with my arm, my eyes dry and stinging, unable to speak. My reaction that day had been unexpected for Scarlet. I had been waiting for her these past few days, and sure enough, I received her video. Yesterday, I was making the final preparations for today's engagement party. Those days, I was working tirelessly, yet my heart was filled with sweetness. I watched the video I had personally edited for the engagement party one more time. The girl in the video smiled happily, and the man gazed tenderly at the girl in his arms. Only desolation remained in my heart. I opened my email and discovered an anonymous email I'd received that morning, a recorded video. The video began with Ethan lying on a woman's lap. My heart trembled. The woman wore a white blouse and a fitted skirt, stroking Ethan's head gently. This was an Ethan I had never seen before, vulnerable, dependent. I silently watched the entire video, then focused on the recording time, 12 o'clock last night. At that time, I was confirming the engagement party's schedule, ensuring the long red carpet was laid from the entrance to the stage. I had imagined Ethan walking slowly towards me, holding a bouquet and the ring, with our relationship video playing in the background. I wanted to see Ethan walk confidently towards me, which was why I had specifically designed that long red carpet, symbolizing my long-awaited and hard-won dream of our love becoming reality. I returned home, utterly exhausted, and at 1 a.m., I saw a message from Ethan. "The office is having a meeting tonight, don't worry." So, that was what having a meeting meant. I watched it repeatedly, feeling utterly tormented, seeing Ethan in the video and the woman whose face wasn't shown, her voice choked and aggrieved. The succession of recent events made me realize even more clearly, Ethan was cheating, and not just emotionally. While I was joyfully anticipating our future, the boyfriend I loved was in another woman's arms, and I was still dreaming of our eternal future together. My years of secret love felt like a joke, and the boasts I'd made to my friends now felt like a heavy slap in the face. Heartbreak beyond a certain point leaves you unable to cry. I coldly saved the video and forwarded it to the event staff, telling him this was the video to be played tomorrow. Thus, everything that happened today was part of my plan. I was the mastermind behind this farce. I intended to utterly destroy Ethan's most prized possession, his reputation, and tear away his facade of a gentleman. The most unexpected variable in this plan was Ethan's older brother, Marcus. Marcus was 6 years older than Ethan and he was the son of Mr. William's first wife. A month after Marcus's mother passed away, Mr. William remarried. Marcus always had a stern expression and remained silent, and as a child, I was a little afraid of him. He had got abroad early to manage the office overseas. I only heard about his return last month. Last night, I didn't sleep at all, not just from the suffocating heartbreak, but from overwhelming hatred. I would destroy everything Ethan cared about. Just then, I received a message from Marcus. Ethan cheated. What do you want to do? My heart trembled, and I arranged to meet Marcus. In the restaurant, girls' gazes occasionally drifted our way. After not seeing him for years, he had become mature and charming, yet still maintained an unapproachable aura. Marcus, what should I do? The engagement news had already been announced. Backing out now would be a complete joke. Marcus stared into my eyes and said calmly, Grace, Ethan's family isn't just Ethan. My hand trembled, and the coffee spoon clinked against the cup with a crisp sound. Grace, do you trust me? Will you marry me? I'm currently single, have no past relationships, no bad habits, and no shady people around me. I will respect you, love you, and protect you. Want to try? Why? You don't even like me. Marcus paused, then shook his head and smiled. Because I need control over the Ethan family. Chu belonged to my mother, and I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands. I need the Grace family's help. Ethan's mother had been pushing Ethan to marry me, and now it made sense. All right, I replied without hesitation. Hatred had saturated me. Tears streamed from the corners of my eyes, the heartache came too late, and I was choked up, unable to speak. My arm covered my eyes, but my other senses were incredibly sharp. I heard Marcus's dress shoes approaching, closer and closer, until a faint jasmine scent drew near, and the side of the bed dipped. Marcus gently pulled my arm away from my face, his knuckles brushing the tears from the corners of my eyes as he sighed. This is Ethan's fault. He should apologize to you. His voice was low and steady, aiming to calm my emotions. But I couldn't hold back. I threw myself into his arms, crying even harder. Marcus's body stiffened for a moment, but he didn't push me away, gently patting my back. He never loved me. He always called out Scarlet, not Grace. I poured out all my grievances and pain. And he held me close, listening quietly until I finally calmed down. Grace, try it. Be with me, Marcus said, releasing me and looking steadily into my eyes. I stared blankly at him, seeing emotions in his eyes that I couldn't decipher. Marcus saw I wasn't speaking, but didn't force me to say anything, simply caressing the ring on my ring finger. The sensation on my hand was too distinct. Marcus's fingers were cold as he lowered his head to meticulously examine my ring. I instinctively tried to pull my hand back, feeling a little embarrassed, but he held it tightly. You still have a chance to back out. Meeting's deep gaze, I shook my head firmly. I wouldn't regret it. Closing my eyes, I tilted my head back, wrapped my arms around Marcus's neck, pulling his head down, and pressed my lips against his cold ones. Both families implicitly agreed not to mention Ethan again, and I had no intention of seeing him either, especially since I had already broken up with him. Coming out of the office, Marcus messaged to say he'd pick me up later. I was waiting in the lobby when I saw someone I didn't want to see. Grace. That voice had called my name for many years, from childhood to adolescence, and then during our relationship, when our love was deepest, he would whisper, Grace. Back then, I would have thought he loved me profoundly, but now, a wave of nausea washed over me, almost making me dry heave. I dry heaved uncontrollably, my face pale. The receptionist from the lobby rushed over to steady me, asking with concern if I needed help. Before I could even speak, I heard a ringing in my ears, followed by a burning pain in my cheek. Ethan had slapped me. Are you pregnant? Did you sleep with Marcus? Grace. How despicable can you be? That's my brother. You planned this all along, didn't you, to get close to my brother? I sat motionless on the sofa, then suddenly burst out laughing. Despite being in a relationship with Ethan for so many years, I had always rejected his advances. I always believed we should truly be together only after everything was settled. Now, I was disgusted that he hadn't thought to care for me, but instead accused me of wrongdoing, suspected me of cheating and being pregnant. Ethan was furious. The man who had always been so genteel and poised was now utterly disheveled. In a family like the Ethans, where reputation was paramount, he must have suffered quite a bit, which was exactly what I wanted. I took a sip of the warm water the receptionist handed me and asked him calmly, "What I do has nothing to do with you, does it?" Ethan's face became unnatural. After a long moment, he timidly squatted down. "Grace, this must all be a misunderstanding. Please, listen to my explanation, okay?" Ethan gripped my hand tightly, looking up at me. I laughed internally, amazed at how much acting skill and mental fortitude it took to change expressions so quickly. "Grace, this has nothing to do with Scarlet. It's my fault. I made a mistake because I drank too much. Please forgive me. We didn't do anything else. I just made a foolish mistake any man could make." Nausea surged again, and my feet felt numb. "Scarlet is a celebrity. I can't let her be implicated because of me. Will you help me?" I sneered internally, but showed no expression, smiling as I asked him, "Ethan, what do you want me to do?" "Grace, the news about Scarlet is everywhere right now. Don't make things difficult for her. Could you please clarify that the rumors about Scarlet and me are just that, rumors? Everyone will believe you. Scarlet's future can't be ruined by you. Then, cancel your engagement with my brother, and we can be together, okay?" I stared intently at Ethan's face, searching for even a hint of love for me, but found nothing. "What news?" Ethan seemed embarrassed, finding it hard to speak. "They're saying Scarlet is meddling in someone else's relationship." I laughed. "Isn't that the truth? How can that be considered a war?" Ethan looked utterly incredulous. "Grace, how could you become so malicious? You deliberately leaked that news, didn't you? You'll ruin Scarlet." I raised my hand and slapped Ethan hard, a crisp, loud sound. The entire lobby fell silent. "If I said it wasn't me, would you believe me? How did I become like this?" I'd like to ask you the same thing." Ethan stared at me in disbelief. I just felt disgusted by his face, my teeth ached with anger, and I raised my hand again, delivering another slap. "Ethan, you truly disgust me." Ethan, humiliated, stood up and yelled, pointing his finger at me, "Grace, what do you think you are? If you hadn't clung to me like a shadow, who would ever be with you?" So, it had been my one-sided love all along. I curled my lips into a smile. "Ethan, we've broken up. I'm your sister-in-law now. Please stop bothering me." That sentence seemed to hit a raw nerve for Ethan. "Grace, I'm telling you, you can get involved with anyone, but not Marcus." I stood up, walked over to him, and said softly with a cold smile, "Why not? Is it because he's your beloved brother?" I leaned close to his ear and whispered, "Or are you afraid of Marcus having the Grace family's backing?" Ethan's eyes widened, and fear flashed in them. You know all of this?" Then he shook his head, muttering to himself, "No, it's not true. Grace, it's not true. I really do love you. It's not because of the Grace family. Security! Someone is causing a disturbance here. Get him out." I stopped listening to his explanations, picked up my purse, and turned to leave. A woman in a white dress suddenly rushed in from outside the door, kneeling beside Ethan and caressing his face. Finally, Scarlet appeared. Scarlet turned her head, glaring at me furiously. "Why did you hit him?" I looked at Scarlet with a pitying gaze. "It's such a shame. A celebrity with a promising career, instead of reaching for greater heights, actually let her career be ruined by a man. Ethan and I broke up. Isn't this what you wanted to see?" These words seemed to hit Scarlet's raw nerve, and her beautiful face twisted into a ferocious expression. I scoffed disdainfully and turned to leave. Not far away, Marcus walked in, wearing a black coat. I watched him approach quietly. He also saw the man and woman kneeling on the floor, and the clear red mark on Ethan's face. Ethan glared hatefully at Marcus. I waited composedly to see what Marcus would do. Marcus glanced at them but ignored them, walking straight towards me. He raised his hand as if to touch my reddened cheek, then pulled it back. I vaguely saw the heartache in his eyes. "Does it hurt?" Tears brimming, I nodded, seeing my reflection in his eyes. Marcus tightly gripped my hand, his voice stern. Without looking back at Ethan, he said, "I leaked the news. You abused my fiancé. Whether she pursues it is her business, but I won't allow it. Take this woman and go back home to await Grandpa's decision." Marcus kept a cold expression as he led me into the car. The atmosphere dropped to freezing point. He stopped the car at the pharmacy, got out, and returned with an ice pack and anti-inflammatory pills. Marcus wrapped the ice pack in the handkerchief from his suit pocket and gently touched my face. I winced in pain. I noticed his face grew colder, yet his hand was gentler, tilting my chin to face him. Carefully, he worked to reduce the swelling. Don't do that again next time. Are you more concerned for your brother or for me? I raised my hand and gripped the one he used to hold my chin. My reflection was in Marcus's eyes. Don't you know? His gaze was too intense, and I was the first to look away, overwhelmed. I opened my phone to look at the news Ethan mentioned. Scarlet actually meddled in someone else's relationship. Homewreckers deserve what's coming to them. This despicable couple, both scummy. Scarlet looks innocent looking, but she does disgusting things in private. Get out of He entertainment industry. I hate homewreckers and cheating men most in this life. Disgusting. Can a disgraced celebrity like Scarlet please get out of the entertainment industry? Wow, congratulations to you too. Hope you're together forever. Don't come out and ruin anyone else's lives. Ethan was busy rushing around because of Scarlet, desperate to block the news, but met with obstacles everywhere. I knew in my heart that this was all Marcus's doing. Marcus had been quite busy lately. It seemed office matters had suddenly increased, and he often worked late. Presumably to compensate me, he messaged today to say he'd pick me up from work and cook for me. He was wearing a black suit today, with silver-rimmed glasses. Putting everything else aside, Marcus was undeniably much more handsome than Ethan. His face shape was strikingly similar to Mr. Williams, yet there was no other trace of Mr. William in him. I guessed his mother must have been a great beauty. Marcus had a pair of soulful eyes, long and narrow with delicate lashes. They were gentle eyes, yet filled with detachment. Today, I spent a long time getting ready, putting on a very expensive-looking makeup. As soon as I got into the car, I started recording videos and taking beautiful photos. What would you like to eat? Can I still order? I raised an eyebrow, looking at the person in the driver's seat. If it's you, yes, Marcus said, turning to me during a red light. Is that so? I said thoughtfully, then smiled at him. I want to eat everything you make. Marcus's house was very clean and tidy, with gray and white tones throughout, understated yet elegant. While he cooked, I sat in the living room eating the fruit platter he had just washed. Don't eat too much, dinner will be ready soon, Marcus advised before putting on an apron and heading into the kitchen. Marcus was washing the vegetables with his back to me, his tall frame clad in an apron whose ties cinched his narrow waist. His broad holders tapered to a slim waist, and the sleeves of his black shirt were rolled up, resting on his forearms. I picked up my phone and took a photo of his busy back in the kitchen. Delicious fruit platter, a busy man. Not bad. After a succession of dishes were served, Marcus sat down and poured me water. I snapped another photo of the delicious-looking spread. How is it? Is it good? Marcus asked me, only picking up his own fork and knife after I had started eating. I nodded contentedly. It's delicious. I don't know why, but even though it had been a long time since I'd seen Marcus, I didn't feel awkward at all. We got along very well. Have you been busy lately? Marcus looked at me when he heard my voice, a smile playing on his lips that settled warmly in my heart. Are you concerned about me, or something else? My face flushed. I focused on my food, murmuring, of course, I'm concerned about you. Yeah, quite busy. Being busy is good, it means Marcus now holds most of the power within the chew. After a while, Grandpa will send Ethan to manage the branch office I used to oversee. Marcus spooned a bowl of creamy fish soup for me and placed it beside my hand. I nodded as I listened, completely focused on the delicious food. I had been craving this rich creamy fish soup for ages, and eagerly took a sip. Careful, it's hot. After dinner, I cleared the table, and Marcus put all the dishes into the dishwasher. Then, he found a movie for us to watch. The living room curtains were drawn, and the lights were off, leaving only the glow from the movie. Marcus took a throw blanket, placed it on my lap, and sat beside me. After a while, I grew restless and leaned back against the sofa. Unexpectedly, a hand immediately encircled my waist, pulling me into his embrace. I leaned against Marcus's chest and looked up at him. He wasn't looking at me, one arm around my waist. He reached out and patted my head, watch the movie. I found a comfortable position in his arms and quietly watched the movie. When the movie ended, the room fell silent and dark. No one spoke. Marcus gripped my waist, pulling me closer, then tilted my chin and kissed me. I pushed him away only when I ran out of breath. He lightly touched my lips. Do you want to stay here or should I take you home? Home, I whispered, burying my face in his neck and catching my breath. Marcus tightened his embrace. All right. I couldn't deny that my relationship with Marcus over the past few months had been unexpectedly harmonious. I could feel that his intentions weren't just about gaining my family's support, it was more about a sense of responsibility and genuine affection for me. I shared the photo I had taken of Marcus's back on my social media posts, with the caption, "So delicious, love to eat." Soon after, friends from my circle started congratulating me in the comments section. Wow, you two are so well matched. Looks like Grace's good fortune was just waiting for her. Marcus's good friend also commented, "Marcus, you rascal, forgetting your friends for a pretty face. I want some too." Marcus replied to him, "You can eat, but the down payment goes to Grace." Watching their exchange, I nestled into Marcus's arms, laughing freely. Marcus finished work early today. I mentioned I wanted some strawberry cake, and he bought it for me. I took a bite and couldn't help but sigh. So good. I then speared another piece with my fork and offered it to him. Marcus's gaze, however, shifted from the cake to my lips. I watched his handsome face draw closer as his kiss landed on the corner of my mouth. It was a long, tender, strawberry-flavored kiss. When our lips parted, he licked his lips and murmured softly, delicious. Then he scooped me up and pressed me against the wall, his kisses raining down on my neck, my collarbone. Just as things grew intense, a knock on the door suddenly echoed. Startled, I pushed against the person in front of me. Marcus caught my hands, calming Is breathing. He was clearly displeased by the interruption. Just as he was about to open the door, a voice from outside carried through. "Grace, please forgive me, I was wrong." I froze. Marcus withdrew his hand, a mischievous smile playing on his lips. He swiftly pulled me towards him and pressed me against the door. "Grace, it was all my fault, I can't live without you." Behind me was Ethan's voice, and in front of me, Marcus's burning kisses and wandering hands. I couldn't handle it and my legs went weak. Marcus lifted my waist with his hand, wrapping my legs around his. "Grace, who am I?" he whispered, nipping my ear. I bit my lip and stayed silent, but the voice outside continued. "Grace, I was wrong, I was completely wrong. I can't live without you. I thought I couldn't forget Scarlet, but it was always you I loved. Scarlet was like you, she had your shadow, not the other way around. The one I love has always been you." I couldn't even make out what Ethan was saying. My head was spinning, and all my senses were focused on Marcus. Marcus nipped at my lips, "Tell him to stop coming to find you." I could only whimper, unable to speak. It was then I truly glimpsed his wicked side. Marcus's hand traced my waist, and my whole body grew warm. "Grace, tell him what we're doing." I whimpered and glared at him. He laughed, covering my eyes with his hand. "Don't look, let's pause for a bit. If you keep watching, I really won't be able to control myself." After a moment of calm, Marcus straightened my clothes and kissed my cheek. "Explain things clearly to him. I'll make a call." With that, he walked into the bedroom. I knew Marcus was giving us a chance to talk alone, so I opened the door. A strong smell of alcohol hit me. Ethan looked dispirited, utterly dejected. I heard he and Scarlet had broken up after a huge fight, and hadn't seen each other since. Ethan seemed unsteady and was about to lunge towards me. I quickly stepped aside, and he grabbed the doorframe to steady himself. "What are you doing here? We're over." My voice dropped to an icy tone. I resented him for ruining my good mood. The man in front of me suddenly knelt, startling me for a moment. "Grace, please forgive me. Seeing your social media posts made me so jealous I almost went crazy. I was the one by your side first, so why is that snake Marcus with you now? He has an agenda." I let out a laugh. "An agenda? To gain the Zhu family's support? What about you? Didn't you have one?" Ethan kept his head down, silent, still kneeling on the floor. "Ethan, when you were with me back then, it was to make Scarlet jealous, wasn't it? You heard Scarlet left you and was living a better life, and you couldn't stand it. You got with me just to show Scarlet that even without him, there would still be others by your side. What's more, your mother always wanted you to inherit the Chu, and getting engaged to me would have been entirely to your advantage." Ethan looked up at me, his face streaked with tears, but his sadness no longer moved me. I didn't want to hear any more. It was too late for these words now. I was already utterly disheartened, and nothing Ethan said would make me believe in this relationship again. "Leave, Ethan. I won't forgive you." After saying that, I closed the door, but a hand suddenly braced against the doorframe, and with a powerful pull, the door was wrenched open. Ethan's eyes were bloodshot, and his hand was clinging to the doorframe, refusing to let go. "Grace! Don't push me." Ethan shoved the door open and stared at me, then suddenly gasped. "Ethan!" It's over. Don't you understand? I roared. Following his gaze, I remembered the hickeys Marcus had just left on my neck. The sound of the door opening again. Ethan watched the person walking up behind me, his expression twisting in pain. Marcus walked over and hugged me from behind, smiling as he looked outside. Ethan, what brings you here? Then he lowered his head to me. The bathwater is ready. You go first, I'll be there in a bit. This man, how could he? I gave Marcus a furious, embarrassed glare and wriggled out of his arms. But in Ethan's eyes, our interaction looked like playful flirting, which he found unbearable. I don't know what Marcus said to Ethan that day, but I never saw Ethan again after that. Today, Marcus had guests at home. They were chatting in the study. I carried in some iced tea, but at the door, I overheard a conversation. What about you and Ethan? No contact? Well, I took Grace and the chew. How could we still be in contact? Your brother is quite amusing. After going abroad, he suddenly calmed down. The indulgent world holds no interest for him. But I heard he's still wearing a necklace, it seems to be. The image of that necklace immediately flashed in my mind. It was a necklace I had made for Ethan with my own hands. The idea that he was still wearing it was ridiculous. What does it matter? Grace is mine now. Marcus, you've been secretly in love with Grace for so many years. I guess it finally paid off. Is especially touched, knowing this? She doesn't know yet. I haven't told her. No way? You haven't told her? Dude, you just stole her away? How did a latecomer surpass the original contender? Because was willing to compete and fight? Seriously, that's truly impressive. Don't talk nonsense. I listened, stunned, my heart swelled with a sweet joy. So had liked me all along. It was a relief we hadn't missed each other. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.